Hi there, Cy Williams. Hi Canada Magazine, Psychedelic Canada Magazine, and Hi Europe Magazine. I am at the GrowUp Conference. It's the last day, day 3. We're in Niagara Falls at the Scotiabank Centre. I'm honored to sit down with some longtime friends from my CannaFam, from the cannabis community, cannabis industry, Katie and Bridget from Marigold PR, the founders of Marigold PR. Now, you've had so much to do with the GrowUp Conference. I've had so much communication between our offices and your offices. We've coordinated speakers and interviews, and I just think you've done a magnificent job of pulling all this together and lending all the auxiliary support that the GrowUp needed to pull off a successful event. So I was wondering if you could tell me some of your highlights of the show. What really stood out to you?
Yeah, I'm happy to start. I've really enjoyed the networking. I think it's so great being back around friends. We've missed everyone so much over these past couple years. Lots of new faces. Learning from the growers has been really kind of game-changing, I think, for a lot of people, getting to really hear their perspective. And the networking parties. Those were a lot of fun, too.
They were a lot of fun.
I like the focus of GrowUp on the growers. Yesterday, Katie and I had the privilege of attending the growers' lunch. I think I fell in love with all the growers, just listening to, how they started. We were talking earlier today about a few years ago, the growers, when with legalization, kind of kept their trade secrets to themselves. But now it's collaborative, it's relationships. They were talking about their teams, their people. Everyone's talking about hiring talent in the growing space. So I thought that was amazing. And then what I really liked is, because I am kind of nerdy at heart, I liked all of the content in the programming. It was just like, there were like master classes in psychedelics at the business summit yesterday. On the day before, there was all the cannabis business and insights. Like, it was an excellent learning opportunity. And then, you have the backdrop of the exposition behind us. It was good. It was really
I
good.
thought the expo was amazing. A little small this year, but I know that it's the first year back. But the quality of the people who attended GrowUp this year really made it for me.
Yeah.
Katie, you had an opportunity to moderate yesterday at the Psychedelic Summit. How did I got the chance to watch it? I was tremendously impressed, but I want to hear it from Katie. How did it all go?
Oh, I felt very privileged and lucky to moderate that panel. It was a loaded panel. I think there were seven.
We had to pull in an extra chair.
We did squeeze everyone in, and we covered everything from clinics to what psychedelic might look like within clinics, to timelines and what the future looks like. It was an amazing conversation. The brain power.
The brain power. That's what I've been saying all day today. The sheer intelligence of the speakers and the people in attendance for the Psychedelic Summit.
Yeah.
I'll spend weeks processing the amount of information that I picked up.
For sure. And you attended a few chats too.
Oh yeah, no, it was great. What I really liked is when they started the psychedelic day off with Erica Dick, the historian on psychedelics.
She's amazing.
Who really kind of put the journey into perspective.
Yeah, I like that as well.
She was amazing.
I thought so too. As was Mark Hayden, our keynote speaker,
Yes.
and he really set the tone for the day.
Yeah.
And his enthusiasm and his insight into the new psychedelics market, and he actually doesn't care for the word psychedelics, but into this new market was just amazing. I really liked, and I know that your group is really behind this as well, mentoring. And I've talked to at least 3 separate individuals, younger growers under 30, who have found mentors at the Growers Luncheon. And we're able to connect and find somebody to work with. And I'm discovering that as we move forward into phase 3 of legalization, where we are now, that we're seeing a lot more mentorship opportunities, and cannabis companies are starting to give back and give the hand up to people who are maybe don't have the amount of experience. So mentorship has always been a big thing for Hi Canada Magazine, and I know it's been a big thing for your group as well. Did you happen to see any of that yourself at the show?
we felt really lucky at our booth having a lot. There were quite a few students here from Niagara College. And I have to tell you, it feels really good to have people come up and say, we know Marigold, we love your company, we love your brand, how can we work with you? And we do have an internship program. So
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, and really it just makes your heart feel really full that they know who we are. That makes us feel really special to have even sort of that younger generation just entering the market. And they're willing to put their hand up, which I think is great, right?
Yeah, they are, and there's a lot of interaction there. You just celebrated your 5th year anniversary. There was a party just before the GrowUp Conference. How was that?
Fabulous.
Was it fabulous?
Yeah,
Fabulous.
it was a great time.
Now, Marigold PR has a reputation for putting on some amazing events in the industry. You've done a lot of great women's groups that have been greatly attended and publicized, and all sorts of workshops. And I'm always seeing the incredible sense of community that you're building here in Ontario. And I've always commended that and appreciated that about your group.
Thanks, Sai. We just surpassed promoting and profiling over 200 women in the space through some of our other platforms.
Yeah.
And so we're pretty proud of that number, and we've got lots more coming this year too.
Oh, that is amazing. For those of you who don't know, we did a big feature almost 5 years ago on Marigold PR, and it's just amazing to see. There's a double-page spread, and you're all of you are laid out. And I know you've gone through some changes, but what would you think the biggest changes are that you've gone through over the last 5 years?
The biggest changes that we've gone through over the last 5 years are, well, it's probably threefold. The first is embracing the cannabis industry. Katie and I came from media, respectively, digital and television, and it was a big surprise to many of our industry colleagues when we entered into the space. But we embraced cannabis, and so that's a big change for us personally and professionally. But we've only moved forward in that space. The second thing, what we've changed is our team has changed, and the quality of expertise and knowledge and leadership that we're attracting speaks to the kind of clients that we're attracting. But you're only as good as your team, and we have an awesome team. So that's we've always had that sort of groundwork, but we're there. And then we're with our expertise of being in the industry for 5 years, we're able to identify where and when people need help with communications and marketing. Or in the early days, it was like a free-for-all. Everybody wanted to get press releases out and information out, etc. And sometimes it was worth it, and sometimes it wasn't merited. So
Timing is everything.
So timing is everything, and so we've learned how to help people, like, in a meaningful way. So those are three of the big changes that I see.
Okay, amazing. What's going on in 2022 for Marigold?
Lots more growth.
Lots more growth.
We've been growing on average around 40% year over year. Okay. So next year is looking like, this was our biggest year yet. Next year is looking like an even bigger year. We've started working in the psychedelic space. Some of our former clients in the cannabis space have moved over, plus we've made so many amazing new contacts even here at GrowUp.
There's a lot out there.
And so, continued growth and continued diversity in the types of work that we're doing.
And I think the other piece too is, recognizing that we're all 5 years in to the cannabis industry here. We're global leaders, and our clients are becoming global leaders. So there's a lot of focus on what decriminalization looks like in the United States, and what regulation looks like in the United States, what it looks like in Australia, Latin America. So for us, the world looks bright next year. Yeah.
I totally agree with that statement. The world does look very bright. Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for taking this opportunity to sit down with Hi Canada Magazine. We will catch you in the legal shops. Take care.